Watch this. The guys in the tower are loving this. He's doing a knife edge pass around the tower. This is the only air show I know of where you can buzz the tower legally. Pretty cool stuff. How about it, ladies and gentlemen? Let's hear it for Skip Stewart. Florida is home to more than 2,000 aviation and aerosports establishments, 19 commercial airports, and 2 spaceports. Visit enterpriseflorida.com to learn more about what makes Florida a premier business destination. There were a lot of pilots who washed out of primary training due to the Stearman's challenging ground handling characteristics, and it earned the nickname Yellow Peril. But if a pilot could master the Stearman, he could master virtually any other trainer or fleet aircraft in the Navy inventory. The Stearmans, built in numbers way up in the 10,000 range with thousands more in the form of spare parts, was saved from the scrap heap after the war because it was put to use as a crop dusting airplane. And they took the original 225 horsepower Continental or Jacobs or Lycoming engines off and put more powerful 450 horsepower motors on the front. But these are stock Stearmans, which you're seeing right now. But when better, more modern crop duster airplanes came along in the 1970s, the venerable Stearman was saved from the scrap heap once again and found its third career, that of a sport biplane, lovingly restored and flown by pilots with a penchant for historical military biplanes and round engines or radial engines. Coming through at a blistering 90 or 95 miles per hour. This is open cockpit flying. Right now, these pilots are getting a heck of a breeze. The exact number of Stearmans that remain flyable is unknown, but estimates are in the range of between 1,000 and 1,500 for those that are in flyable or in various states of airworthiness or disrepair. The Stearman pilots participating in today's demonstration are members of Stearman Flight, a nationwide organization dedicated to educating Stearman pilots in the procedures and techniques for safe flying of these airplanes. Number 1, Kerry Hardin flies Navy Buzz 469. John Reddick flies the Army Air Corps Buzz 470. Roy Kinsey is flying Navy Buzz 708. And Phil Webb is flying Army Air Corps Buzz 42. Primary training, very simple. If they didn't wash out, and there were a lot of training accidents in World War II that took thousands of lives, regrettably. But if they got past the primary phase, they'd move on to basic training with a more powerful engine and a different airplane called the Vultee Valiant, officially designated the BT-13. It was nicknamed the Vultee Vibrator. And if the pilot, the cadet, was successful in that particular phase of flight, then they'd move on to the advanced trainers, the North American Texans, the SNJ as the Navy called it, and the AT-6 as the United States Army Air Force called it. The Royal Air Force and the Royal Canadian Air Force called the North North American Texan to Harvard, it was indeed an institution of higher learning. But today we concentrate on these primary trainers. Top.
You've seen round loops. This time, he's going to put a corner on every side of it. Keep your eye on Gary Ward as he performs for us here at Pensacola, the square loop. Gary Ward wants to thank MX2 Aircraft, Icon Aircraft Engines, Champion Aerospace, EarthX Batteries, Michelin Tires, the paint job on this plane. You enjoying watching this guy? Listen to the engine. There's a triple tumble. Here's a chance to get a shot of him as he comes by. Watch for this maneuver. He's going to sit up here and do what is called a cobra. He'll reach show center, he'll yank back on the stick and stop it right along the runway. Give it up, everybody, for our buddy, Gary Ward. And by the way, I forgot to tell you, Gary Ward, in July of this year, just celebrated his 77th birthday. How about that? Almost 1,600 were manufactured between 1940 and 1945, and the Mustang became the aircraft that helped escort our heavy bombers over targets in Europe, also performed in the Pacific, and will be part of the heritage flight today along with the United States Air Force's F-22 Raptor flown by Major Paul Lopez. There is something that you might see as it lands. Look for the radiator scoop. It's a liquid-cooled engine, so like our cars, but it's a V12. At the bottom, there's a radiator scoop. The original radiator scoop design was butted right up against the bottom fuselage, caused some turbulence and airflow problems and cooling problems. So they changed the design and separated the bottom of the fuselage from the top of the radiator scoop by what they call a gutter. About 1 3/4 inch space. When it lands, I think you'll be able to see it. That same hunk of technology from 1940 was applied to the Air Force's F-16 Fighting Falcon some 30 years later. Good technology in 1940 survived for more than 3 decades. There's the Mustang. It was also the airplane used by the Tuskegee Airmen, the United States Army Air Force's first African-American squadron. Those men broke the color barrier in the United States Army Air Force, and initially those guys were shunned by the white pilots, but they were so... He'll roll it over all the way around. Look at the power. The decathlon's been around a long time, but this is the extreme decathlon. The most powerful and most maneuverable of all of them. Now it's time to go live to the cockpit, say hello to Brent Cooch.
complained about getting hot today.
No, we're definitely not going to have that problem at all. What are you going to do for us, sir?
Oh, let's start out with an inside-outside hang. How about that?
That's an inside-outside. That's a Cuban 8 laying the figure 8 on its side, right?
So he does the inside part.
This person talking doesn't work. Okay, let's do a hammerhead then.
Okay, the hammerhead takes a lot of concentration because you got to get on almost to 0 airspeed before you hit the rudder.
This
Yeah,
is
you gotta get that line up really good, or it won't stop right. Let's go back in for loop the loop. How about that?
Okay, we can always deal with a loop.
very, very simple.
A
Gets
little on-trail wind, keep me a little busy here. Get the center. You want across the top. Oh, here we go. Yeah.
That looked like you put a little snap roll on the top, so that loop became an avalanche.
You got that right. Now I just thought it was right. You surprised me.
Now he'll get to the top. And there's the outside hump to bump.
Never had a spot today. It didn't seem not to be so hot. I like that today, too. Just about right. It's going to be a great weekend. It really is. How did y'all see? Y'all